Well, in terms of Good Hope Hospital, I think it's fair to say that 5 years on, we would now feel that we've learnt the lessons, and we're beginning to get the organisation into a position which feels like the right one. So we've got a balance of the benefits of scale, being a big organisation, with some local autonomy. And I think it's that local autonomy that's made the difference. There is now a team at Good Hope Hospital which is their team, and it respects the fact that their culture and their community are rather different from the Birmingham one. And so there's that local flavour which I think is so important to a local hospital has been restored. So they have their own senior manager, their own exec, their own doctor, nurse and operational manager, always there, based there every day. It feels like a standalone DGH. But beneath the surface, they have the benefits of being part of a much bigger corporation, if you like. So they share corporate functions, clinical support services. Were able to put more investment in than they could do as a standalone organisation. And we support some of their frontline clinical services by rotation of staff. So I think 5 years down the line, we've probably got that balance between local control and benefits of scale just about right. I think the challenges are to create something where the sum of the parts, where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. I think that's the challenge. I think one has to resist the temptation just to grow for its own sake. I think you have to bear in mind, what are we going to create that's new and better by bringing two organisations or more together? And so we're concentrating very much on what is the future of local healthcare, and how can growing our organisation benefit us in terms of creating something that looks right for the future rather than the past. So I think it's keeping in mind the aim of it all, but it's inextricably linked with the future for us of local hospitals and community services. It's just that writ large, and I think you have to keep in mind that fundamentally you need to create an organisation which is going to survive and thrive in the future. I think patients by and large focus on the hospital. They're much less concerned with what the name of the bureaucratic organisation that runs that hospital might be. So they focus locally. Does it look, feel, engage, listen and respond like a local hospital should? And I think if it does, then broadly speaking, that's what they're looking for. They're not so much interested in the mechanisms of running it. The staff similarly, although of course the staff are closer, and I think the staff do look to say, well, what control have we got? Because there are differences. Our three hospitals serve three very different communities, and therefore they do have to be different. And I think we've learnt over the last few years we have to respect those differences and build on them. There's not try to iron them all out and say everything's got to be the same on all three sites. And I think that bit of learning's been really important, and I think the staff have responded to that. There are lots we could go through. I think a key one is to be thinking, why are we doing this? What is the reason? What is the problem that we're trying to solve, or the situation that we're trying to improve, and be absolutely clear about that. And then look at how would this new combined organisation, if we create it, actually address those issues. I think that's the fundamental. Otherwise you get into a situation where you bring them together and then you'll sort of think, right, what now? I think that would be a mistake. I think it is about looking at the challenges, and there are lots, and the pressures, and thinking, well, would an acquisition or a merger help us address those challenges? And if it's not, I think you need to look again at why it's being considered at all.